we should take crashes involving goods vehicles. They are involved in 24% of all fatalities.
Okay.
Yes, and just 1/5, the people who die, if you take 5 of them, just one is occupant of the goods vehicle. So what it means is that those who die are occupants of other vehicles or pedestrians.
Yeah.
Mostly they feel safe.
Yeah.
And so when you are traveling on the Accra Kumasi road, for instance, the heavy vehicle can just come into your lane. Without.
They don't care.
Yes.
They don't care. They see you as a smaller car.
Exactly.
Theirs is bigger.
Exactly.
BBC are not safe.
Yes.
So you have to look for. So one of the questions I wanted to ask was how we can be safe on our roads. So you finish and I come to that.
Yeah. So what is happening is that they don't die. Is the occupant of other vehicles or pedestrians who die in vehicles involving these vehicles. And so we should rather be concerned. We should rather be concerned and make sure that these goods vehicles also follow the rules, they follow the regulations, and then not kill people.
What would it take for us to get a change, Prof? Because listen, we vote people into power because we expect them to bring up policies that will help us in this situation, help us stay alive, help us keep our properties intact. But unfortunately, we vote people into offices and they appoint people into positions. And you ask yourself, what is their use? What will it take for us to have a change? Are we supposed to demonstrate on this? Because if you look at the videos and the pictures we are showing on Facebook, in fact, if you just Google, just type in the search engine, matriculator or tipper truck accidents in Ghana, you would have different numbers of accidents, different years. It will blow your mind. So that's what I was asking earlier, whether we learn from these things. Because elsewhere, when accidents happen, we learn from them. We put in measures to ensure that it doesn't happen again, or we reduce its happenings.
Yes.
But here in Ghana, it's like a statistic.
I think it happens 2-3 days, we forget, and then we go.
We move on. We move on to our lives.
So
hold on for me. What would it take for us to have a change? Is it for us to continue such conversations, or is it for us to demonstrate what exactly are we supposed to do that will give us a change?
Education without sustained enforcement doesn't work. So the enforcement bit is very, very important. The police need to know that they have to enforce the law. I mean,
now police no coach your man 50 cities and his day is sorted.
If we should continue on that route, it means that our problems are never going to be solved.
Yeah. So, Prof, my question, and it's a bit on the education.
Okay.
I understand that when these drivers are on the road, they have some regulations that they apply. For example, if you are following another truck, there's a space that you have to leave. But most of the time, and now this is from drivers who complain about these things, most of the time when they leave that space, the smaller cars think it's a quandaho.
Exactly.
It's not on all the abesho.
Yes.
And then it distracts them.
Yes.
What are we doing about the smaller cars?
So then it dovetails into the question I wanted to ask. How do we stay safe on the roads with them?
Well, so we have to enforce the law on their part, make sure that they obey the laws. And for us, we always say that road safety is a shared responsibility. If you don't take your life in your own hands, someone will end it for you. So you have to be very careful. If you are following a truck, for instance, and it's on an uphill, you just have to leave a distance between you and then the truck, so that in case
I am common sensically, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
That's what I do.
Yes.
I give a space. I give a space so that when business or tia benechia,
Yes. Yes.
You know?
So that's what we're supposed to do. Make sure, as the police, we urge the police to enforce the laws. We should also make sure that this is protective driving, right? Defensive driving. Yes. So you make sure that you put measures in place so that in case the truck or whatever reverses or try to move, you will find a place.
That is for people who are driving.
Yes.
We live in a country where we don't have school buses picking up school children from their community to take them to school.
Yes.
But you see children, sometimes a 5-year-old who doesn't know jack himself or herself is aiding his 3 or 2-year-old sibling walking by the side of the road to school.
Yes.
And then they are walking by the side of the road to school faced with this same challenge of tipper trucks on our road.
Yeah.
How do we ensure their safety? First, some time ago, you could see an adult person hold the hand of this child and help these children to cross.
Yes.
Or tell them to be mindful of where they are walking at and all that. But you see, everybody's so busy that we don't really care. We don't give a hoot. The child is standing wanting to cross, the private vehicle will not stop, and then the children want to maneuver. How do we ensure safety for these children themselves?
So, as I mentioned, 20% of deaths involving goods vehicles are pedestrians. For children, it's even that, because what happens is that when the child, because these trucks are very high, when the child is below it, sometimes they don't see. The drivers don't see the vehicles, and then they run over them. And parents should be responsible. Just spend some time and send your child to school.
I get to work before 5.
Yes.
How do I see to my child going to school safely?
If the person is a child, it means he cannot even prepare himself adequately and then go.
Some of them prepared adequately. 5-year-old, they have their school uniform, pack their books. They are ready for school. They will go.
Yes, but we should educate them first. And the schools, I'm sure some of the schools are doing it. If you get to KNUST Primary, for instance, they have the traffic warden to help.
Those are the areas where we have the big men.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the people who are living at the Ashtowns. And I'm not saying the people who are living at Ashtown are not less.
David, what is that? Most of these fatalities, they happen in the rural sections, villages along the highways. That's where the speeds are very high.
But we also have had some experiences around our Laga Junction, Ahonjo area, the Kujum area, and a few other places, which of course is in the city.
Yes, but as I said, most of them are happening there because sometimes you have a whole village on this side, and then everybody have to cross to the other side to fetch water and all those. So you have a lot of these activities going. But David, we have to educate them. We have to enforce the law, and we have to take our own safety
that I appreciate, but that's what we can do for our leaders to act. I haven't gotten an answer. Our leaders to bring our policies.
Action. Yes, you see what happens in the area of safety is that sometimes if you get to the rural areas, a vehicle hits someone and it causes the people to come up with this illegal speed hump. So you will see an earth speed hump. So it's more of a civil action to prevent the drivers from speeding. Yes. People complain, but for those people living in those communities, it helps them because it works. It helps to reduce the speeds of those vehicles. Yes. So if we don't act, we may get there. At a certain point, people will rise and then demonstrate.
0322083596 is one of our